Today we've seen the reality of the Gabba, amphitheatre of Australian dreams and English nightmares. Well, it's sunset here at the Gabba and you can see the rather weary England players leaving the ground, disappointed and footsore, because I'm afraid the Gabbatois has claimed another victim, or nearly. England was slaughtered around the outfield this afternoon by Michael Hussey and Brad Haddin in that partnership of 307 for the sixth wicket, the best partnership actually ever provided on this Gabba ground. England, though, bowled really well in the morning. They deserved the wickets that didn't come. Anderson went past the edge, had LBW shouts, and they should have had Hussey LBW. He was plumb LBW on Hawkeye, but England couldn't use the Hawkeye because they'd used up both their reviews. Alim Dar gave it not out. That was a big turning point at 223 for 5. After that, Hussey was relentless, accumulating runs both sides of the wicket, as you can see here from Hawkeye. He's a man who was brought up in Perth where the ball bounces, so the cross-bat shots, the pulls and cuts are very much his favourite, and he scored runs on both sides of the wicket. Whereas Haddin, you can see from Hawkeye here, tended to be more down the ground, hits the ball straighter, gets forward and drives the ball, both sixes and fours. The blue lines are the fours and the red lines are the sixes. Now, just before the end of play, I caught up with Dean Jones, the former Australian batsman, and an absolute authority on how to compile a long innings in Test cricket. Well, firstly, what did you think of that Michael Hussey innings?
Well, it was an awesome performance, and the reason why, these guys are batting for their life, their career, and effectively some of these guys are batting for $2 million a year, and that's what they're earning now. And his life was on the line, as was Haddin's in a certain way, because Payne's been playing very, very well. So I was absolutely wrapped away.
But I mean, money can't have been the motivation when you were batting. I mean, what was it about your makeup that enabled you to make lots and lots of double centuries, bat for a long time? Are you just a selfish so-and-so or what? I mean, and where do you get that mentality from?
Well, if you're going to make big scores, you've got to be super fit. I think that's number one. You don't see too many fat guys going around making doubles, number one. And number two, the running between the wickets is very important, knowing how to switch on and switch off. If you make a double, you're going to have at least bat for 6 hours, 7 hours.
You're gloating now, aren't you? Which is quite annoying. We hate, every time we come out here, we have optimism, confidence, and it's just completely dented by the first few days of a match at the Gabba. Well, and you guys are suddenly gloating.
I'm not gloating, but we've been waiting for 2 years for this, and we're expecting a really big competitive effort, and within 2 and a bit days, the match is almost over. And basically that's it, Yosser. I'm sorry, that's the bad news for you. I must admit, can I just quickly say, I thought Australia had a bit of luck today, and played and missed a lot. I thought Anderson and Finn done very well for his fifer and all that type of stuff, but basically I didn't think he bowled well enough, full enough. Bowlers today for some reason don't like being driven, and then they bowl too short.
You know why? I'll tell you why. It's because these bats are about 2 foot wide. Well, they feel as if they're about 2 foot wide. They're certainly about 2 foot thick. Yeah. So what normal bowler would like to pitch it up? Anyway, we can find out. Thanks, Dino, for your thoughts. Anyway, we can find out what Brad Haddin had to say about his innings and how he can explain how he made 136.
It was a lot easier, no Freddie. I can tell you that. And I was, as I said before, that first hour and a half was the toughest and high quality test bowling you're going to get anyway, and it was a real battle. I think the pleasing thing was that we came through the other side of it and put the result on the board that we did. But I'll touch on it before. It was as good as test bowling you're going to get from Anderson Broad that session.
Well, it was interesting that Haddin referred to the lack of Flintoff in England's bowling attack. Certainly they don't have someone of that big presence at the moment, someone who can really enforce a situation, especially when it's going against them. But England are really in this predicament because they got bowled out for 260 in the first innings and conceded a deficit of 221 on first innings. From the way that Haddin and Hussey played this afternoon, there's loads of runs in this pitch still, so now it's the time for the England batsmen to stand up and be counted.